There we go. So welcome, friends. I see a three. I think we'll get started in the interest of time. We have a few others joining us in a minute. And so we'll get started on our mat. So if everybody wants to come to the mat. Before we get moving, I would like us to think about what our intention is for today's practice, whether it's just moving our bodies in a joyful way, whether it is trying something and putting a little bit more effort into something that we've done before, or whether it's just trying something new and seeing if we like it. I have a few props here. I'm going to probably end up using my blocks a little bit today. And I'll show you some different ways that you can use these blocks. If you're not terribly ready to go all the way down to the floor, or if the floor is too far away, we can bring the floor closer to us by utilizing blocks. Sometimes you can use a strap, especially if you need a little bit more stability. I don't often use it, but every now and again. And if you have knee issues, I recommend grabbing a towel or some little pads or something like that to put underneath your knees when we're in some of the poses that require us to be on all fours, like our tabletop and our cat cows. So we're going to start just in a seated position on our mats, and hopefully you all can see me okay and hear. Can everyone hear me? Yep. Okay, perfect. So we're going to start by bringing our shoulders up, and then we're going to roll them and release them down to the back. We really want to create openness with the neck held high and the shoulders down and to the back. We want to open up that chest area. Okay, so we're going to roll our shoulders up and back a couple more times at your own pace. You can close your eyes if you like, or you can keep them open and watch. And as you're doing these rolls, I want you to start thinking about your breath. Maybe when you bring your shoulders up, you breathe in. And when you bring them down, you breathe out. And we can start noticing where our breath is in our body right now. Let's do one more. And back down. Now, I want you to be in a comfortable seat. And we want to make sure that our seated bones, our sits bones that are right there, the butt bones in the back there, are nice and planted on the floor. So if you need to do a little wiggle, sometimes because I have a booty, I have to grab it in the back and just kind of pull it away so that my bones are down. And let's put our hands gently on our knees. And we're just going to start paying attention to some breathing. Our shoulders are still nice and back. And we're going to breathe in and out 3 times together. And with your in breath, we're going to think about energy and renewal. And with our out breath, we're going to think about letting go of our day. Let's take another in breath for energy and renewal. And another out breath, letting go of the day. I don't know about you, but I had a hard day. So let's take another in breath. And release. With an audible sound. Breathe out that day. On our next breath in, we're going to raise our arms up to the sky and open up. Look up, reach up, and then out. Next breath is going to be a twist. We're going to take our right hand, put it on our left knee, and twist to the back to the side. Ready? In breath, another out breath. We're taking our right arm onto the left knee, left hand in the back, and twist at the belly. And breathe out. Breathe in to lengthen. Feel like you're having a string coming out of the crown of your head, and breathe out to twist through your navel. At no point should your knees be rising up. We don't want our hips coming off the ground. One more breath in. And breathe out, bring back to center. On our next in breath, we're going to raise our arms and we're going to twist to the other side. Breathing in. We're going to take our left arm to the right knee, right arm behind us, and twist. If it's available, looking back over your right shoulder. Breathing in to lengthen your spine. Breathing out, twisting deeper at your navel. One more breath in. Breathe out. Untwist. We're going to do a seated forward fold here. So we're going to take our legs and we're going to put them forward. I'll do it like this so you can see my profile. So we want to, if you need a micro bend in your knees here, that's totally okay, whatever's comfortable on your hamstrings. We want to hinge at our hips here. So we're going to sit up nice and tall, right? We're going to pull in our tummy muscles. We're going to breathe in, and when we breathe out, we're hinging forward at the hips. You're going to reach as far as you can. Ready? Breathe in. On your out breath, hinge. Take a moment, melt over those thighs. You can round your back and melt even deeper. Breathe in, take a lengthen. Breathe out, melt. On your next breath in, we can bring ourselves back up. Straight. Wherever you are, we're going to pivot into tabletop position. Swing your arms over, or your legs over this way. And in tabletop here, we want to stack our wrists underneath our shoulders. You can take your index fingers and point them forward and spread the rest of your fingers out. So index fingers pointing to the wall or whatever you're facing. Other fingers spread out nice to provide yourself a base. Activate your hand muscles to protect your wrists. If your wrists are sore, you can use a fist and a fist, and that's fine too. We're going to make sure our knees are hip distance apart underneath our hip bones. We're going to do some cat-cows here. So on our in-breath, we're going to arch the back, send the hips forward, breathing in, looking up. We're going to let our belly drop like a nice chubby cow. And in our out-breath, we're going to curl, bring our belly in, head down between the shoulders and look down between your knees. On your in-breath, cow position, look up, send that tailbone up, drop the belly. And on your out breath, contract everything. Curl the back, arch the back. And let's do 2 more of those at your own breath. And let's find a straight spine in tabletop position. Keep our head nice and straight. What we're going to do now is we're going to plant our weight into the fronts of our hands, into that fleshy bit. We're going to curl our toes under, and we're going to lift just a little bit. So breathe in. On your out breath, lift your knees and hover them. Let them hover there for a moment. Breathe in. Next out breath, send that butt way up into the sky, into downward dog. You can adjust your position if you need a little bit of a wider stance. Your heels, let them come down as far as they can to the mat. Take a slight bend in the knees. Push that tailbone up and out. You want to achieve a nice straight spine from tailbone to crown of the head. Breathe here. And out. If you want to loosen up those hamstrings, go ahead and paddle your dog, walk your dog. We'll bend one leg and then the other. See how nice and loose we can get those hamstrings today. And find some stillness. Come a little far away. On your next in-breath, I want you to look up, lean forward, bend your knees, and step or hop yourself to the top of your mat into forward fold. So I want you to fold down at the hinge at the hips here and fold. You can touch the ground if you've got it. You can be on blocks or anything that brings the ground closer to you. You can bend your knees slightly if you need to. Hands on knees, hands on shins, whatever you like. Let's grab opposite elbows, let go of your head and neck and hang. If it feels good, you can find some movement here. Stretch out that lower back. My lower back is always super tight, so this feels really good. And come to rest. Next breath in, we're going to go halfway up, make a straight spine, hands on shins. And out breath, fold forward. Next in breath, we're going to come all the way up. Roll your spine vertebrae by vertebrae. Head should be the last thing that comes up. Then arms, reach up, look up. And hands down through heart center, out. We're going to do a few bends here. I'm going to come a little bit closer to the middle so you can see all right. We're going to prepare our backs and our spines here for a couple of back bends that we're going to be doing a little bit later in our sequences. So we're going to do some side bends and some back bends. So on our next breath in, breathe in. I want you to clasp your hands. Everything except your pointer fingers are clasped and point up. Breathe in, lengthen, pull those shoulders down and away from your ears, but pull the arms up. Breathe out, let's bend to the right. Do a nice side bend here. Breathe into that side. And if it's available, stretch even deeper. If this is hard on your low back, engage your core. And breathe out. Next in breath, we're going to bring it back to center and over to the left. Breathe in. Reach and breathe out over to the left. Stretch that right side bone. Breathe into that side and breathe. If you're having a hard time breathing, you're stretching too far, come on out of it a little bit. Breathe in and breathe out. Next in breath, let's bring it back to center. We're going to keep it here in our next out breath. We're going to slightly bend backwards. I'll let you see. So engage these core muscles here. If you don't want to hurt that low back, you want to tuck these bottom core muscles in. Tuck your glutes if you need to. We're going to breathe in. And our out breath, we're going to slightly bend backwards, drawing with our fingers onto the ceiling. Gaze is following my fingers. Shoulders away from my ears. Breathe in. Breathe out, bring it back. We're going to do one more of those. Breathing in, and on our out breath, we move. And out, back. Engage your core, and breathe in, coming back. And hands down. We're going to move through 2 sun salutations, and then we're going to move into the powerful parts of our session tonight. So sun salutation, you can take this series of movements in between to reset our different poses. I will do them. If you're like, nope, don't want to, that's totally okay. You can just meet us in whatever the next pose is going to be. So sun salutation, we are going to come to the top of our mats. And we're going to breathe in, hands up, look up. And then when we're coming down, hands through heart center, we're also going to tilt our hips and swan dive into a forward fold. Breathe out. Forward. Breathe in, halfway lift. Hands on shins, nice straight back, head down. Breathe out, fold again. Plant your hands, step back into high plank. So left foot back, right foot back. You can put your hands directly under your shoulders, adjust yourself if needed. If plank is not available for you today, that's okay. We're going to go down to the knees, and you can hold in the chest, not the chest, the tummy. Keep your back nice and straight, and that's totally okay. From plank or supported plank, we're going to come down, dropping our knees onto the belly. We're going to come up into low cobra. So we're planting our hands under our shoulders, breathing in, looking up. Dig the tops of your feet into the ground. Breathe out, come down. Push through tabletop, sending your hips now back up into downward facing dog. Take up your breaths here. Next breath in, look up, lean forward, bend your knees and hop or step to the top of your mat. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Arms up, look up. Next breath out, we're doing this again. Swan dive, hinge the hips, bend the knees, swan dive into a fold. Breathe in. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, plant your hands, step back into plank. Either high plank like this, supported plank on the knees, whichever is easier for you. You can do down into chaturanga, into upward facing dog, which I will do, so you can follow me, or you can do what we did before, down to the floor into cobra. Chaturanga, we're gonna go part way down, but before we hit the floor, we're gonna flip our feet and move into upward facing dog. Ready? Here we go. Breathe out. And breathe in. Breathe out, meet us back in downward facing dog. Okay. Now we're moving into some warrior poses. So what we're going to do is we're going to, on our next in-breath, raise that right leg up into the sky, three-legged dog. Do not let your hips tilt, face them down to the mat. You can bend your left knee if you need to. Breathe out, bring your foot between your two hands. Breathe out, curl the spine, bring your foot up. Now, we're going to plant our hands down here. We're going to wiggle our back foot down, and we're in runner's lunge right now. So we're going to lunge into that hip pocket, opening it up. Your hips should both be facing the same direction. Hands down on the mats or hands on blocks or something to support you to bring the floor closer to you. Take a breath here. If you need to, we can go like loosening up our hips here. We can rock back and forward in that lunge. You could rock side to side if you like. And find some stillness. From this, let's bring ourselves up. We're going to move our left foot back. We're going to bring ourselves up into warrior one. Warrior one, we're going to bend that right knee in the front, facing forward. Our hip bones like this should not be turned. They should be facing like this. Back foot goes at about a 45-degree angle. Okay, find what's easy for you. And we're going to bend into that front leg. Breathing in, arms up. We're doing warrior one. On your in-breath, feel your spine lengthening like it's pulling out of the top of your head in. Breathe out if you have it in you. Sink deeper into that knee. Breathing in and out. Next breath, we're going to straighten that front leg. Now you can keep your back foot the way you have it, or you can make it so that both your feet are facing the same direction. We want straight legs here. We're going to do pyramid pose. I need blocks for this one. My hips are still facing the same direction. I'm facing forward. I'm going to breathe in. And when I breathe out, I'm going to hinge at the hips forward. I'm going to melt over my front thigh. So you can take a shorter stance if that's something that we need to do. Sometimes I do. It depends what I'm feeling like that day. So let's breathe in. Breathing out, we're going to hinge over that front thigh. You can stay here. Breathing in and out. You can have a straight back. Or if you have it, if you want a deeper stretch in that hamstring, you can melt your chest over your thigh. If we're bending the knees, it's okay. Breathing in here. And breathing out, hinging forward. Let's take another breath in here. Breathe out, you can hinge deeper. Melt over your thigh. Next breath in, we're going to use our core strength to bring ourselves back up. And we're going to reset back into that warrior one. Here we are. Breathe. On your next breath out, we're going to bring our hands down, back into runner's lunge, plant them on the ground, heel toe your foot back. Take an in-breath here. On your next out breath, step that right foot back into high plank. Let's take that vinyasa, that same sun salutation movement, down. You can go down to cobra or into up dog. So we're going to try right down. Breathe in, up dog, or cobra. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Everyone's doing okay? Let's take a minute here in downward facing dog to reset ourselves. Paddle your dog a little bit. If that right leg is sore, come back to a regular breath pattern. Next in breath, let's raise our left leg into three-legged dog. Ready? Flex that heel. Keep your hips nice and straight. Do not dump your weight into any one of your shoulders. It should be even. Lift it higher. Out breath, let's curl the spine, bring it in. Place your foot, sometimes I need help, in between your two hands. Shimmy that right toe back. Open up through the hips into runner's lunge. Breathe. On your next in-breath, you're going to use that core strength and you're going to bring yourself up into warrior one. Pivot the back leg so it's 45 degrees and bend into the front. Take a breath. Breathing in, lengthen the spine. Breathing out, bend a little deeper. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathing out, bend a little deeper. Next in breath, we're going to come up and straighten that front leg back into pyramid pose. Straighten the leg. Adjust your stance if you need to. You can face that back foot forward if you like. Straighten the front leg. We're going to breathe in, and on our out breath, we're going to hinge at the hips and fold over our leg. Breathing in. Out, let's hinge. Whoop, I'm falling. Grab your blocks if you need them. If you're lacking balance, tighten your stance, right? If you've got more balance, loosen your stance. Your legs can be hip distance apart, or they can be in line with each other, whatever you're feeling. I like them somewhere in between. So we can hinge here, and you can stay right here with a nice flat back. Or if it's available to you, you can fold and melt over your front thigh. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathing out, hinge and melt. Okay. On our next breath here, let's plant our hands. Shimmy that leg back, bend that front leg, back leg, bring the front leg back into runner's lunge. Move around here, open up that right hip if we need to, back and forth. And from here, let's take a breath in. On our out breath, we're going to send our left leg back into high plank. Take that same sun salutation vinyasa and meet me back in downward facing dog. Okay. Walk your dog. Paddle those feet. Find some stillness here. Bend those hips even farther back. Straight spine. Okay. In. Breathe out. On your next in breath, I want you to come high onto your toes. Look forward, lean forward, bend your legs, Step or hop to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Out, fold forward. And in, all the way up. Out, hands in front center. Okay, 8:28. So we are going to skip some of the standing balancing sequences, and we're going to go straight down onto the floor. So follow me. We're going to get down onto the floor. We're going to get onto our belly, and we're going to do some back bends, and then we're going to get into our cool down. So we're going to do a sun salutation to get where we need to go. Arms up, look up, breathe in. Breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, fold. Plant your hands, find yourself in a high plank. Bring your knees down and lower yourself down to the belly. You can put your face down on the mat with your forehead down, and your arms are going to be beside you, palms facing up. Rest here for a minute. Breathe into those back muscles. On your next breath in, tighten your core muscles. Breathe in, bring your front body up. Breathe out, bring up those legs. Locust pose. Let's hold this if we can. Breathing in, raise the front. Breathing out, raise the legs. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. And let yourself down. Bring the right ear to the mat. Take a breath. Okay, recenter. We're going to do this again. Next in breath, we're going to raise our shoulders up. Breathe out, raise your legs. Available, you can do wheel. You can grab your legs or your ankles. Breathe in. Breathe out, push your legs against your hands. Push, 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 push. Breathe in, breathe out, push, 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 push. And release. Put your left ear down on the mat. Okay, we're going to do one more of those. Next in breath, breathe in, bring up your chest. Breathe out, bring up those legs. Option to grab your ankles and push. Breathing in, lengthen, breathe out, push, 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 push. And release, forehead to the mat. We're going to plant our hands underneath our shoulders, and we're going to find ourselves up in tabletop position. So push yourself up. Tabletop. Bring your toes to touch. Spread your knees as wide as your mat. Take a moment and sink your hips back onto your toes. We're going to do child's pose to loosen up that lower back that we just stretched. Reach your hands forward. Forehead on the mat or on a block or on a towel, and breathe. Go ahead and take another minute in child's pose. I'm just going to notice that we are running time. So stay in that child's pose for another minute or two, not a minute or two, another breath or two. When you're ready, put your arms underneath your shoulders and bring yourself up back into tabletop. And from here, however you want to make it happen, pivot around and let's find ourselves on our backs. On your back, bring both knees up, hug them. Hug those knees, keep your shoulders and your neck down. Hug around the shins, around the knees, around the backs of the thighs. Just take a moment and rock on that lower back. Massage it out. It just did some work. Keep it rolling. Okay. Now we're going to put our legs down, plant your feet here. We are going to do a bridge. So I want you to plant your feet hip distance apart. Okay. We're going to put our arms, palms down, and we're going to have our shoulders and neck down. Slightly tuck your chin so that your neck and spine are nice and straight. On your out breath, so breathe in, and on your out breath, you're going to push your hips up. Ready? Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's bring our hips up. And hold it here. One more breath in. Out breath, roll it down like you're unrolling a beach towel, vertebrae by vertebrae. And relax, take a breath. Okay, one more of these. We're going to breathe in, and then when our out breath, we're going to push our hips forward. Breathe in. And out, push those hips into the sky. If you like, you can roll your shoulders underneath yourself and take a bind under, holding your hands together. Push higher if you are able. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more breath here. Breathe in. And out. Release your hands and your shoulders and roll back down. Grab your knees, hug them to your chest. Give yourself a little rock. Okay. We're just about toward the end, so we're going to do one quick twist. We're going to put down our left leg, bring our right leg up, hug the knee. Then we're going to take our left hand, grab the knee, pull it over the left side, opening up the arm in the right and looking to the right, twist. Next in breath, let's bring that leg back to center. Give it a little hug. Release it back down. Left leg up to the chest. Squeeze it in. Let's release. Right arm to left leg, pulling it over to the right. Left hand open up. Looking left. You can have your arm facing straight out, palm up. You can go into cactus where you bend at the elbow. Just comfortably and breathe into that twist. Next in breath, let's bring that knee back up. Give it a little hug. And let's move into our final pose, corpse pose or Shavasana. Let your legs flop open. Arms down and heavy, palms facing up. Shoulders away from the ears. Neck nice and straight and close your eyes. Take a moment to thank your body for the work it's done today. Breathing in rejuvenation. Breathing out. Quiet the mind. And just stillness in your body. Let your body melt into the mat. And let go of the day. Feel your head and your neck and your shoulders pressing down into the floor as it melts down into the mat. Yeah. Focus on your breath. Rise and fall in your chest. Your belly. Feel the air through your nose. When you're ready, you can find some movement. Start wiggling your toes and your fingers. Take a big stretch over the head. Roll onto your right side. And find your way into a comfortable seated position. When you're ready. Before this day, I want to thank you, my friends, for coming. Namaste. All the time you need here. The Zoom will end when it ends.